1 billion people watched the last World Cup final. That's more than the population of North and South America combined, all watching the same game at the same time. So what is this thing? And why does it make grown adults cry in the streets? Here's everything you need to know. Football, or soccer if you're American, is simple. 2 teams, 1 ball. Score more goals than the other side. That's it. No timeouts every 30 seconds, no commercial breaks every play. Just 90 minutes of pure, continuous action. But here's where it gets interesting. Unlike American sports, football doesn't belong to one country. It belongs to the entire world. And that changes everything. The FIFA World Cup is the tournament where every nation on Earth competes to find the best team on the planet. FIFA, that's the organization that runs world football, holds qualifiers for years before the tournament even starts. Hundreds of countries enter, only 32 make it. Think about that. You could be from Iceland, from Senegal, from Japan, and your country could qualify for the World Cup. That's your flag, your anthem, your identity on the biggest stage in human history. That's why people care so much. It's not just a sport, it's national pride compressed into 90 minutes. Now here's something most people don't realize. The Super Bowl is massive in America. About 115 million Americans watch it every year. Impressive, right? The World Cup final drew 1.5 billion viewers globally in 2022. That's not a typo. 1.5 billion. The Super Bowl isn't even in the same conversation. And it's not because football is more exciting play-by-play. American football has more scoring, more action every few seconds. Football matches sometimes end 0-0. So why do people go absolutely insane over a game that can end with no goals? Because of tension, because of what's at stake. When your country is in a World Cup match, every single second matters. One moment of brilliance, one mistake. That's all it takes. Games can be decided by a single kick in the final minute. Sometimes, after 120 minutes of football, it all comes down to penalty kicks. 5 players, 1 goalkeeper, and the weight of an entire nation on your shoulders. Brazil, Argentina, Germany, France. These aren't just countries in World Cup conversation. They are football civilizations. Brazil has won the World Cup 5 times, more than any nation ever. Argentina just won it in 2022, ending a 36-year drought that drove their entire country to the edge of madness. And then there's the upsets. That's where the World Cup becomes genuinely unbelievable. In 2022, Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. Not some small result. Argentina, one of the greatest teams ever assembled, lost to Saudi Arabia. The streets of Saudi Arabia erupted. The king declared a national holiday, because of a football match. That's the World Cup. It can stop a country. The host nation also matters enormously. When a country hosts the World Cup, they spend years building stadiums, transforming cities, preparing for billions of eyes to watch. Brazil 2014, Russia 2018, Qatar 2022. These aren't just tournaments. They're cultural moments that define a decade for those countries. And the players. This is where it gets almost mythological. Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. These 2 names have dominated football for nearly 20 years. The debate over who is the greatest player ever has split friendships, started arguments in every country on Earth, and filled more internet comment sections than any topic in sports history. In 2022, Messi finally won his World Cup. Millions of people who'd watched him for years, genuinely cried. Because that's what the World Cup does. It gives careers meaning. It defines legacies. The next World Cup is in 2026, hosted across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. For the first time ever, 48 teams will compete. More countries, more stories, more moments that will stop the world. And here's the thing nobody tells you before they watch their first World Cup. You don't need to know every rule. You don't need to understand every tactic. You just need to pick a team, sit down, and let it happen. Because when that final whistle blows and one nation lifts that gold trophy, you will feel it. Even if you've never watched a single football match in your life. That's the power of the World Cup. It turns strangers into believers. If you want to actually understand the sport before 2026, tactics, rules, the biggest players to watch, subscribe. We're breaking all of it down, and none of it requires you to already be a fan.